When you have to pay as much money to go to the theater as a week's worth of groceries, it's hard to justify going at all. But sometimes you come across work that is so beautifully crafted from beginning to end, it makes the sacrifice worthwhile. Welcome to CC Writes, where we explore good stories and how they're made. My name is CC Lepke. Today, I want to talk about 5 movies with perfect plots. Stories are my life, so I'm pretty specific about what makes the cut. When I say perfect plot, there are a few basic guidelines I use to make the determination. First and foremost is pacing. You can't have a truly good story that jumps from point to point without rest and without a reason for doing it. My second guideline is character development. Even in action movies, I want to care about what the protagonist cares about and see him or her grow as a person, or at least change. The third guideline is structure. If there's a good structure to the plot, then a great writer can make as many twists and turns as she wants and still come out on the other side with a truly spectacular story. The fourth and final guideline is execution. In a movie, editing and acting count just as much as the writing itself. If an actor can't interpret the script or an editor messes up the flow of the story, or for that matter, if a producer forces a director to add in useless characters or story elements just because they want to, it can ruin a well-laid-out plot. I can only judge the movie based on the end result, which includes all of these elements. So for the purposes of this video, those are the parameters with which I'll judge the movies: pacing, character development, structure, and execution. These aren't the only movies with perfect plots, but they're certainly my favorites and some of the best examples I've ever seen. Let's get started. The Brothers Bloom is a heist movie that follows 2 brothers who've spent their lives fooling people out of their money in order to survive. They run a con on a quirky heiress, and things get out of hand as the younger brother falls in love and their dangerous past begins to catch up to them. The pacing of the story is top-notch. It balances tender character development with fast-paced action that keeps the viewer on the edge of her seat. You get to see a story about 2 brothers who only ever rely on one another and their internal struggle as they open up their lives to include more people and prepare to separate from one another permanently. To be able to tell that kind of a story while also keeping together the arcs that include a Russian mob, a sheltered heiress, and multiple cons makes this movie uniquely successful. When you take a 40s Dick Tracy-style noir flick and put it in a modern high school setting with a teenage gumshoe uncovering a cocaine operation when investigating a murder of the girl he loves, you get the movie Brick. The quick-talking teenagers and fast action of this movie adds to the urgent feeling the viewer has while watching it. The acting perfectly fits the theme, and it's one of the many reasons why I love Joseph Gordon-Levitt as an actor. The revelations throughout this mystery are perfectly timed and really drive the main character's personal growth as he struggles with the loss of his love, who left him a long time before her death. It's tense, emotional, perfectly themed, and the writing is well balanced. Everything I love to see in a great story, and well worth including on this list. It almost feels wrong to have a list like this and not include Lucky Number Slevin, one of my all-time favorite movies. Lucky Number Slevin is a story of mistaken identity, mob bosses at war, and love amidst chaos. Not only does this movie have the perfect example of an inciting incident with its opening scene about a Kansas City shuffle, it also displays great character development as duty is challenged for the sake of love and justice is found amidst a city secretly at war with itself. The acting is impeccable, with an incredible cast that includes Lucy Liu, Bruce Willis, and Morgan Freeman. Despite the twists and turns in this story, it's easy to follow, which says a lot for the structure of the story. And the overall pacing feels off-kilter and sudden, which actually adds to the emotional experience. Toy Story 3 really needs no introduction. We all saw it, we all cried. When Woody gave up his relationship with Andy to provide joy for the next generation, all of our hearts broke simultaneously. When you're talking character development, few people do it better than Pixar. Their character-driven plots have played with our heartstrings for years, and Toy Story 3 is the opus of their ability to give us all the feels. Moving from Woody's desire to stay with Andy, trying to keep his friends together and safe despite Andy's abandonment of them, and his change of heart to leave Andy to be together with his friends and Bonnie, it all adds up to a perfectly structured story with beautiful character development. The action in the story is tense, the moments in between are engaging and heartfelt, and everything that Tom Hanks touches is gold as far as I'm concerned. If you've never seen Memento, you're only hurting yourself. It's the story of a man who's trying to avenge the death of his beloved wife, despite having only a finite amount of time before he can't remember what just happened, due to permanent short-term memory loss. And the story is told backwards. You want structural perfection? This is it. The story arc works whether you watch it forwards or backwards, and seriously, who does that? Character development? It's a beautiful personal arc of tragedy, revelation, and constant loss, culminating in vengeance or tragedy, depending on which direction you decide to watch it. Even as the story travels backwards through time, it's perfectly paced with new revelations and uncertainties balanced with action and powerful storylines. Acting, directing, and editing are all flawless in this masterpiece that should be at the top of every best movie list. These 5 movies are my favorite examples of what a plot should look like. In the extras on the DVD version of Toy Story 3, the creators even added their own little animation for how to make a story the Pixar way, and it is pure treasure. While these are some of my favorite movie plots, it doesn't mean they're the only perfect plots out there. If they were, I probably wouldn't love movies as much as I do. Each one follows the traditional plot structure for screenwriting that I talk about in my pacing video that you can watch here if you want more details. They drive the plots with a wonderful balance of action and character that makes the viewer feel like things are happening without going numb from a constant stream of people doing stuff. Everything from pacing to execution came together beautifully in each of these movies. Were there any movies you were surprised to see on my list? Are there any movies you would have liked to see on the list? Leave it in the comments below, and if there's one I've never seen or one that I like so much it's a crime to leave it off, then I'll make a video analyzing the plot in detail so we can see why it works as well as it does. I really love going through stories and figuring out what makes them tick, so make sure you keep an eye out for more of my videos where I do exactly that. Thank you for watching CC Writes. If you enjoyed this video, then please don't forget to like and subscribe, and also hit the bell so you can get notified when new videos come out. If you have any specific writing topics you'd like me to cover, go ahead and leave a comment below, and I'll go over as many subjects as I can. And if you want more content from me, then you can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at cclepkewrites. My books are also available through Amazon.com. You can find them easily just by searching CC Lepke. Thanks again for watching, and have a good week!